Hello, thank you for joining me for today's video. My name is Tracy Held. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. This is the card that we're going to make today. It is a fun fold card. The belly band comes off and it then opens up like that. It will stand something like that. The products that I'm using: the new online exclusive Hello Irresistible suite. This comprises the Irresistible Blooms stamp set. You've then got the matching dies. Now I've got those all over the place because I've been busy working with them. But you've got this one which gives you a bit of a stripy edge. It's that one over there. That one's a round one, bit of a wreath. And then you've got the dies that match the flowers, the leaves, and these ones cut out these sort of lacy leaves. We've also got the Hello Irresistible DSP. Now this is absolutely beautiful paper. You've got your leaf and floral images on the one side. This one is going to be returning colors, so we've got Pretty Peacock and Lost Lagoon. More leafy ones. Flowers, and of course these flowers can be cut out with the dies. Those are the smaller flowers, and the leaves. Those leaves will also cut out with the dies. The reverse side of the paper is your more mottled images. Bit of a problem when you want to use the front and the back because it's a bit devastating to stick them down. The other thing that we've got in the suite, these loose frosted dots. Those are really pretty. They don't have adhesive on the back, so if you're sticking them, you do need to put some glue to stick those down. And they come in the 3 different colors in the box. The other thing that I'm adding to the cards is my deckled rectangles dies. I use these a fair bit, and the one that we're using is this one here in the middle. So counting from biggest, we're using the 4th one. Let's get started with our card. I'm going to change up the colors a little bit, so use different DSP. We're going to use different background colors as well. Now this card may look quite complicated, but it isn't really. And there's a lot of repetitiveness here, so you can see you've got your front and your back, and it's got the layers, and then you've got all your layers stuck on here. So a lot of repetitive sticking, which I've prepared in advance so that you don't need to watch me stick all of that. I'll just stick one of each, and then I'll have the others prepared. So if you're going to be stamping along with me or trying to craft while you're watching the video, just pause it at that point, do all your sticking, and then you can carry on playing when you're up to the point where I'm just sticking one of them. Let's start off with my scoring. We're going to score our piece at 6.8 centimeters, 13.6 centimeters, and 20.4 centimeters. And if you're working in inches, that's going to be at 2.5, 5, and 7.5 inches. And then we're just going to accordion fold that. Now we're going to do some stamping. So this time I'm stamping on So Saffron with Flirty Flamingo. I'm going to stamp 3 of my big flowers. 6 of the smaller ones. going to stamp some of the leaves in Evening Evergreen. A few of the little tiny leaves. Going to stamp the sentiment as well in the Flirty Flamingo. Lastly, while we're doing our stamping, I'm just going to stamp onto my piece that we're going to write our note inside the card. I'm going to use the little flower over here. I say little, but it's not actually that little. It is still relatively big. And we'll just do a few of these little leaves around it. Remember, at this point, if you're decorating your envelope, you may as well do your stamping on your envelope at the same time. That's all our stamping done. Now we can start assembling. Starting off, you've got your two pieces of cardstock, which are going to be the front and the back of the card. This time I'm doing Flirty Flamingo. We've got those two, and we've got another piece for the front. That's going to go onto a So Saffron mat. Taking my piece of DSP. Oops, that was a great big blob of glue that came out there. Stick that onto the mat. So we're going to stick all three pieces of our DSP onto the three mats. And then we need to decide which piece we want on the front and which piece we want on the inside. I'm going to put that one on the left, that one on the right, and we'll use this for my front piece. So I've stuck those two mats onto those two inside pieces. This one is going to go onto the front. Okay, I'm not having a great time with this glue. Alright, I don't know what's going on with it. It's leaking out terribly. Alright, we'll just pop that on. I've just grabbed a brand new glue, so this one should not be giving me any problems. There we go. That's our card base done. Now we're going to work with this piece that we scored for the inside. I've got my 4 pieces of So Saffron. There are going to be 4 pieces of So Saffron. I've got 2 pieces of my Designer Series paper here. When I'm working with it, we're going to leave one with just the mat, and one's going to have our little piece to go with the notes on. Now, I have sized this card so that once you've cut the pieces for your card front and insides, you're going to use the piece that's left over to go onto the mats. So that's been sized perfectly that you're going to use your full 6x6 or 15.2 centimeter piece over there. So as I said, we've already stuck that one down. I'm going to stick, now this time around I'm using the reverse side of this paper, but you can use whichever side you like. When I did this belly band, I had it plain, and then I decided it looked too plain, so I went and I stamped some of the speckled stamps on it. This time I've decided that what I'm going to do is try and stick some of those die cuts onto the belly band just to give it a little bit of interest. But I'm also sticking some of this onto my last piece. That one, I stuck it over to the side. I think this time, just because I can, I'm going to stick it in the middle. Now, I have put adhesive sheet behind all these die cuts. I love adhesive sheet. For me, it makes it a lot easier to stick all these thin, spindly little bits of die cuts. If you don't like the adhesive sheet, or you can do it with the glue without making it too much of a mess, then of course you're welcome to do that. But I've used the adhesive sheet, so we just need to pull that off the back here. And we'll just stick this down onto my piece of So Saffron, roughly in the middle, but if it's not exactly in the middle, it doesn't really matter. Just trim those edges. Now, when we put this together, you need to think about how it's sticking. So we're going to stick that side flat, that. If it's sitting in sort of a W shape, the point of the W is coming up. So when we're putting our decorative pieces on, we want them all along that side. Now we're going to decorate the inside. You can put them onto dimensionals if you want to, but remember that this is making it quite bulky as it is, so I've stuck everything flat just because that then makes it easier, although I did put some of my dots inside. Before we do that, you would have cut out all of your flowers. There's my flowers. We've cut out the leaves. And I've gone and I've cut out each of the 3 different size lacy leaves twice. So I've got 6 of those with adhesive sheet on the back. Now what I did on these is, if you can see, my flowers are a little bit sparkly. The way that I did that, taking my Wink of Stella, I'm going to just squish a little bit of the Wink of Stella onto my block. Now just go easy with this because a little bit goes a long way, so you don't need to push out a huge amount. And I'm taking 1 drop of my Flirty Flamingo re-inker. Mix it all up together. Rather go lighter with your re-inker, and you can always add another drop if you want to, rather than going too dark. And then we're just going to colour our flowers. So as I'm putting that shimmer on, it's getting that slightly pink shimmer that's going with it. If you want it a bit darker, you can go back and add some more. It may look a bit dark there, but it does dry a bit lighter as you go as well. You can always go back and add more, but just give it time to dry first. And now we're ready to add our flowers and our leaves. This one I'm making quite simple, just leaves on the top, leaves on the bottom, and one flower in the center. Here I want one of the big flowers. And of course you can decorate it however you like. I'm going to just follow what I did on that one because it then makes it easy for me. So this one we're going to put 2 flowers over here, and I'll put some of my lacy leaves. And as I said, adhesive sheet on the back of these because it makes it oh so much easier to stick. If your pieces aren't coming out, just dab your finger in and they will stick to your finger unless they've gone and got themselves stuck on the other side. One leaf there. I'm going to put another one over here that it's peeping out. And we'll put a third one up at the top. One more little leaf at the bottom over here. Now we're going to put glue all over the one edge, or one side rather, and remembering which is our front, so that's going to be the front of our card. We're going to stick this, that everything's the right way up, sort of in the middle over here, and then put some glue on the other side and stick your back on so that the front and the back of the card are lined up. There we go. Now we need to sort out our belly band. So like I said to you, this time I decided to cut out some of my dies and stick them to the belly band. So again, let's get this adhesive sheet off. And I've got another piece of it. And we can just cut off the excess. Now we're going to wrap this around our card. So try and roughly find the middle. And you don't want it too loose, but you don't want it that it can't slide either. Now we're going to see whether or not this was actually a good idea. And all that I'm going to do is put a bit of glue on that end there and a bit of glue on this end, and those will then stick together. That could have been slightly over, but it's okay. Our deckled rectangle is going to hide the join. When I'm sticking that on, we want that deckled rectangle to sit over there, so we're going to put glue in the middle, and then that's going over that, it's hiding our join. all that I'm doing is fussy cutting around my sentiment. I'm going to stick this on first because once we've got the sentiment on, then we'll see exactly where we're going to position our flowers. That can go at the bottom. We need some frosted dots to decorate. What I do is I just put a little dab of glue in the center of each flower. Throw them into the lid so that you can see which ones you're working with. And I find the end of my pick it up tool works quite nicely. Obviously you want to stick the flat end down. And if you want, we can put some dots in the center of the flowers inside the card as well. Right, so there's our card. It'll sit or stand up like that and fold it up with your belly band over. It should fit into a standard size envelope, although it is a bit bulky with all the extra bits in the middle. There we go, 2 different colors. I don't know what you think. I actually quite like it with the die cuts on it, so fighting with that adhesive sheet was actually worth it. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you like my videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.